Good afternoon. It is time for some more American Ricci Mahjong League action as we come to the very end of our spring season here. I will be one of your commentators, Tucker, also known as Ennui. Our broadcast director tonight is Nathaniel. Thank you for running things, and I am joined on commentary by Dustin. How you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing fine. I'm still like I'm in a very hypothetically I might demote, but it's fairly unlikely, but also technically possible. But we'll be see whether or not that happens today.
Yeah, and these games in particular will play quite a large factor into that. What are the players here going to be considering as they try to play these last two Hanchan?
Well, I believe Oliver was at the top spot of this table before this group of four started. Now, not looking too great. I think actually Beechin, yeah, he had like a good first game, and then he got not as so great in the second game. So it's still like in contention, but especially like all of them might demote. Like if Jonathan gets like a really good game and puts everyone in the negatives, then they'll all demote. But maybe I mean Kaz, if it's like gets some really good games, he could also promote. He has like the most work to do, but like anything could happen.
Because right now, that top spot that is demoting is Lucas at negative 22.8, and Max at negative 20.1 is the first person out of being demoted, the first safe spot. Although Max has one more Hanchan, so we will see how he does later. But it looks like this first game is underway. And Dealer here has a chance for Ipeco in the Pinzu, but really awkward shapes besides. That 7 mon is an absolutely fantastic draw. It looks like our Dora for this first hand will be the North. Oh, and I guess we should say where everyone's sitting. Oliver is going to be our first dealer, and then starting south will be Kaz. Across the table is Beechin, and on the left is Jonathan. Notice any good hands out there aside from dealer here?
Not particularly. I think Jonathan's looks fairly complete already. And has the door in hand, just needs to pair it up.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting two Shanten. Has three completed shapes, but no other blocks at all. There's really only three blocks in that hand. I guess you could consider like 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4. So I guess that is Ishan 10. I missed that there were two sevens in it. There's another Dora on the right in Kaz's hand, who is uh, who is struggling with blocks there. Has again a couple of Kanchan blocks that need to be filled.
Yeah, that 9 pin doesn't really help that much. Throws the isolated 8, so I prefer just throwing the 9 pin there, I think, but
Yeah, what are the advantages to throwing the 9 pin instead of the 8 so?
well, you could get the 7 so and then you get a Ryman shape there versus the 9 pin. Can't make a Ryman shape with that. And then you just get the 8 pin, then it's you could have like a Conchon full of 4, 5, 6, and then a 7, 8, 9. But oh, throws gets another Dora pair. Throws a
Mhm.
5 so.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like something like Itsu is pretty far off. Might just be making a read on the likelihood that tiles come in. I mean, we have seen a 4 so and two 7 so and a 9 so discarded by dealer, but you'd still think the 5 so would in general be more efficient than some of the Pinzu tiles there. But with two
Yeah.
Dora, I'm sure Kaz is trying to find just any hand that'll complete. This is the issue with Dora being a guest wind. It makes it very hard to find a way to use it. Now Ishanten though.
Yeah. Dealer is also Ishanten with Ricci Pinfu.
Yeah,
It's fairly late
I'm,
though.
yeah, I'm definitely liking dealer's shapes a little bit better.
Yeah, two Ryan men.
And Jonathan's really struggled to improve that hand. Was Ishanten pretty early on, but kind of took a step back in Shanten and is now Ishanten again. Although now it's a incredibly wide Ishanten.
Right. Yeah, on the right, Kaz. I think it's Ishanten now.
Ooh, perfect Ishanten now. Oh, but the dealer is entering Tenpai, waiting on the 4 peen and the 7 peen. With only 12 tiles remaining, didn't want to toss the Rigi stick out there. So it's just going to stay Dama for this
C.
Kenfu Nomi. And now we have Tenpai for Kaz waiting on the 2 peen and the 5 peen. Although that is Yakulis.
Yeah, but with so few tiles, calling for K10 is fine.
Beechin has one more shot to draw into Tenpai. And isn't going to get it. So probably just toss the safe tile here. Yeah, the 4-so. So Dealer, Oliver, and then Kaz on the right, both Senpai getting their 1500, and we're going to go into East 1, Repeat 1 after that. Not incredibly thrilling hand. This hand has 2 Dora in it, and it could be a Honitsu, but honestly, it just looks kind of like a mess. You really want to draw like any sort of shapes here. Would be pretty fantastic for Oliver. Everything's really disconnected. Jonathan on the left has a pair of the Easts, which might help Jonathan speed the hand up. Already has 2 complete shapes in the Sozu and the Manzu, so a pretty good head start on everyone else here.
Yeah, and it can incorporate the Dora, although there's only one left in the wall at the moment.
Right now, that 8-so Dora is not fitting into Kaz's hand very well, so I wonder if Jonathan is able to make it a final weight, perhaps could bait it out there.
Yeah, for the amount of points Kaz is on, I thought he might go for a Pinonitsu, but or Chinitsu even, but throws a 1 pin. The dealer could go for like Tanya, maybe Tanya Toy Toy. Probably just get the Tanya Door too.
Or even Dora 3 if you're able to pawn the 8-so. If you draw the 7-so, are you willing to toss a Dora?
I'd probably just be greedy and cut the 6/7 if it
Boom.
comes down to that.
Boom.
Oh, and we do have the open here. Not entirely decided on whether this is going to be Toy Toy or just Tanyao yet. Interestingly, tosses the 5 peen instead of the 6-so. A lot of people who are really determined to keep all of the Dora in this situation tend to throw the 6-so. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see like why you might do it, but like the 5 pin just gives more acceptance,
Kang.
and you're gonna want to keep the Dora. The con
Oh,
from the
and it
left.
flips 3 Dora for Dealer. Oh my goodness. The 8 peen is the new Dora, so now we have Tanyao Dora 5 for Oliver. Oh wow, this could be absolutely brutal.
And none
And,
of them are visible.
Boom.
Or will they be? Okay,
and
now
you
is
know what? I bet Jonathan tried to cheat that because that would have been Tempai for Jonathan discarding the 3-so,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Oliver taking the pawn. All right, Oliver still found
Boom.
Tempai,
Oh,
but
the
he's going
5
to deal
comes
into the
out.
5 on Concon. Holy
Yeah.
cow!
He had to throw the 3-1 earlier because it would have furry 10 on the 2-mon. But the middle 5 comes out, even though the open Mongon, 5 doesn't feel like a great tile. But
Oh, and Jonathan had a couple of different options there. Could have also tossed the 6-mon and taking a Shampon weight on the 4-mon and the 5-mon, which wouldn't have dealt in, but ooh, that
yeah,
really hurts.
although Jonathan doesn't have the stakes here, but dealer open Mongon should like think about like maybe try to shut it down because you have the Yakuai, but it's taking a big deal in.
And it's going to take quite a lot to recover from that 18,000 hit. Oliver on this hand can accept the Dora 6 Mon next to that pair of 7 Mon. Once again, though, has pretty awkward shapes in the Pinzu. And the Sozu, for that matter. 4-7 is not an incredibly great 2-tile holding. Needs to improve that a lot. On the left, though, Jonathan has already denied a pawn of the Haku and is now just discarding it entirely. What
Yeet.
kind of hand do you think Jonathan's trying to build? Oh, but we have a Ricci from Kaz on the right. That
Probably
is
just
Ricci
Ricci,
Tenfu waiting on
Tanyan.
1 Mon and 4 Mon.
Sumo.
Oh, just Ipatsumo it.
Unfortunately, not the Sanshoku side, but with the Apatsumo, this is still going to be 5,800 plus the 1,000 for the Ricci stick. It's going to be a nice little second there.
Yeah, it would have got over double the value if it got that better side, but you'll take what you can get.
And you're never going to turn it down, especially with Oliver jumping out to such a massive early lead. Awkward shapes again for our dealer hand here. That Tuso kind of helps. I wonder, we'll see, 1, 2, just tossing the east. At what point would you discard the 8-9 pin? Oh, that's Dora.
I mean, yeah, 9-pin Dora, I probably would not.
I'm so allergic to pinchons that I always miss when one of them's holding the Dora there. Anybody else have Dora? Oh, it does look like Jonathan across the way has a pair of the Dora. Is actually Ishanten and can open on the Chun.
Yeah, Chun Dora 2. The Ryanman waiting there as well. A really good hand.
That's gonna be a hard hand to catch up to.
I'd probably even pawn the door if it comes out, although yeah, it wouldn't really set you back, but it wouldn't help too much either, as far as like Shanten.
That would be an interesting decision.
Chi.
Well, now discarding the 5-so is in a slightly better position for pawning the Dora. Could go Otozuke and wait on 3 Mon Chun Shenpon. And there's a good Conchon fill for Beachin.
Beach.
That is Tempai waiting on 6, 8, 9 Mon.
So many of them are in the dealer's hand, though. Is there
they
even
are-
any left?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. No 6 Mon left in the wall.
There's no 6 is
Sumo.
dead. There's a 1/9 on the Sumo. Chun Dora 2 from Jonathan.
Yeah, while looking at the Ricci, I totally missed that Chi by Jonathan and went Otozuke after the Chi, waiting on the 9 pin and the Chun, and ended up drawing the Chun. Very fortunate there.
Yeah, getting the wrong draw sucks in that situation, but just get the right one.
It is pretty wild. Beachin's Ricci only had 2 tiles left in the wall, even though it was a pretty healthy 3-sided weight. Beachin dealt a pretty nice hand here, though. Has a Chun, has one of the Dora 5-so, a couple of Ryanman shapes. This hand could improve pretty quickly with all of the floaters being middle tiles.
Right, even just pair up the Dora.
Kaz on the left has 4 pairs. And not great shapes. So it's one of those situations where you don't really like committing to Chi-Toy with 4 pairs, but that hand's going to have a hard time becoming anything else if it doesn't have better draws soon. Well, there's an Anko of the Souths.
Fill in on the Conchon for the dealer. Ishanten now.
And then Oliver across the way has no completed shapes yet, so is just a little bit behind everyone else. Looks like might be shifting towards Tanyao there, discarding the 1-so and the 1 pin. And that other 1-so is also not useful to the hand since the first one had been discarded. Does not open for the Tanyao, though. Ah, that's awkward.
Goes to the headless Ishanten.
Chi.
What do you think about accepting the headless Ishanten here?
Honestly, it doesn't feel particularly great. I guess you achieve a 6 or
7
9, so and then you get way in the Dora, which hasn't been dropped yet, but it's fairly greedy and not like you'd have to like draw it yourself, basically.
1
Is considering cheating the 3 and takes it and is waiting on the 8 so. Across the way, Oliver is Tenpai waiting on the 2 so and the 5 so for Tanya Nomi, although a win
No.
The
on
8 comes
the
out.
5 would be. Oop, 8 came out, you're right. It actually looked like Kaz on the left might have been slimming down to a Honitsu there.
Possibly, yeah. Great hand for the dealer. Double Ton, lots of Sotals. Could easily go Honitsu.
Oh yeah, although it always causes me pain to throw away a great Ryanman like that.
Oh, so many Dragon Tiles in the hand to the right, though.
Oh
We
wow,
see
you're right.
Daisanken.
1
I think
I well, I
I think
assume that Chun was drawn after the first Chun discard.
it's either the Chun or the Hatsu.
1
Maybe it's not Daisanken. It could easily be Chanta, Shosangen, although it's still just Mangan.
Yeah, we actually have Tenpai across the table waiting on the 4 peen and the 7 peen.
Yeah, looks like that.
Tanyao Pinfu Dora 2.
Yeah, perfectly valid Tadama.
4
And
This comes out.
and is gonna collect here. So a neat little Mongon for Oliver, knocking Kaz below 30,000.
Yeah, this game's gonna be huge for Oliver if you keep this lead up. Like, stay out of demotion range.
Oh yeah, getting a clean plus 40 or plus 50 would make you feel a lot better going into the final Hanchan. All right, Jonathan is our dealer now in East 4. Has a complete shape in the Monzu. Again, though, awkward shapes in the Pinzu and Sozu. Has one of the Dora 3 Mon, so at least could make some value here. On the right, Oliver has an Anko of the Haku, which is very nice. Although, again, not accompanied by very good shapes.
Yeah, I don't
Has a
think the dealer looks that bad off. Could be better though.
yeah, drawing that second Formon and getting that pretty little Nakabukure shape in the Monzu, I think definitely helps. Kaz across the way has, well, now a complete shape in the Pinzu. It has an Anko of 5 so and 3 pairs besides. So if they're able to draw in to that one of those pairs, would be Tenpai for a San Anko.
Maybe do we see a Tanya shift?
From Jonathan?
No, yeah. No, from Kaz. There's always something that's like could throw those 9 mon pairs out.
Well, Jonathan's hand just improved. Drew another 3 mon. Oh wow, drew a
Another.
third 3 mon. What? Oh, what do you do with this?
I guess that works. Maybe try to open Tanya.
Just try to speed the hand up now that you have so much value.
Yeah, especially with the dealer. 12,000 points. 7 pin.
Yeah, I think is taking your advice of going for the open Tanyao here, discarding the 7 pin first since it was just discarded by Oliver, perhaps.
Perhaps.
And then also Kaz, who you mentioned could make a similar Tanyao shift across the way, is doing so, discarding the pair of Naimon. Jonathan thinks long and hard about calling, doesn't. Tenpai now for Oliver, going Dama once again, waiting on the 7 Mon.
Could have pawned that 4 Mon. I think passing it is not great.
Home.
You got to pawn that, but
Yeah.
it's Tenpai on the left. It's Tonki 8, so. But
I was
probably
really
it'll
thinking
throw out
about
the 8 pin
switching.
first. Oh, yeah, switches. Well, now you don't have a Yaku though.
Now, what do you?
Oh,
Oh,
you
my
did-
God!
I
But
mean,
Sumo's it on the
Sumo
next
no
turn.
me. I mean, that's why you just Ricci. Ricci Patsu. I mean,
Would you have Richi'd that Chun weight?
for Chun, probably. I mean, it's probably more than the 8 so. Tonki. I mean, I don't know how much it was cut already, but if it's like once cut, it's definitely a pretty good tile. Though people could just throw Genbutsu that late. It's just so lucky to just like draw that tile again though.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That would have made a significant change in value. That would have taken Beechin above 30K. But as it is just kind of knocking on the door here. Oliver, we are entering the South round, and Oliver has one of the Dora 6-peen, and has 5 blocks here. 3 of them include pairs, but that's making some Kanchan shapes a little bit stronger. So might be able to build a reasonably quick hand with good draws. Across the way, Beechin has some nice shapes in both Manzu and Pinzu. Would really like to make a 3-4-5 Sanshoku, but would need to pull in a couple of extra Sozu tiles to make that happen.
So 4th pair for the dealer, but also gets the 6, 7, 8 fill, so decides not to go for Chitoy. Possibly even get Tanyo here, throwing the 9, so.
Yeah, it has 5 shapes without that 7-9 Kanchan block, so it would work. So 2 Shanten then for Oliver, our dealer.
Yeah, through the 7, so instead of the. I mean, if you just get the 8, then you're just going to be
Home.
kicking yourself, but just forcing the Tanyo. It's fair enough. It's Ishanten.
Ishanten as well for Kaz on the right. That looks like it would be Ricci only, or Ricci Dora 1, I should say, with the 6-peen in hand. But would obviously take that. It's going to have a good weight.
Yeah, 2 Ryman shapes.
Beechin has actually made that shift towards the 3-4-5 Sanshoku here, drew in the 3 and discarded the 6 and 8. The rest of that Ryankan that was next to the 4-so. Tenpai now for dealer.
We have 4 7-pin. One of each of those left in the wall. All the other players each have 1 in their own hand. But it
That's
does not
kinda funny,
sumo.
yeah.
Just sumo the last 4 pin.
There's been a lot of that so far this game. Just kind of collecting your small hands with the towards the end of the wall sumo.
Yeah.
The Dora is once again the 6-peen for the second hand in a row. Oliver has a pair of the Norse. Oh wow, we have a
Really
Ricci by
Ricci.
Beechin waiting on the 7-so.
Yeah, just 7-so, but with the Ricci that early, I guess is fine. Not a good weight, but Ricci Dora.
Yeah, the 8-9-so shape wasn't really going to improve.
it's
Wow, just
sumo.
sumo's it. As And like you said, that's why you toss out the Ricci.
Ricci, Sumo Dora, and Ura for a Mongon.
Oh, that's incredible.
Decent third place.
So Beechin now with a much better second. Beechin doesn't necessarily need to overtake first here, would obviously love to, but a solid second place would be enough to keep Beechin in a much safer area for the final Hanchan. Dealer, though, has an absolutely beautiful hand, already Ishanten. None of the Dora 7 peen, but you can't really complain about this.
Yeah, you might even get the Peiko. It just dawned on me though, especially that Mongon. This is like the bad situation for me because Beachhead and Oliver winning points, it might put me into demotion range.
Oh yeah, that's true. For you, it's Beechin winning more games is, I think, better than Kaz winning a lot.
I guess, well, if Kaz wins, it might be more likely that everyone's just brought below into the demotion range, but we'll see what happens to this Hanchan, the next one, and then the final A1 game happening in about an hour.
Still, Ishanten has not been able to pull in a useful tile. Nor has Jonathan. Still no completed shapes there. Oliver, maybe the furthest along, is also Ishanten.
There's plenty of those, at least for the 2-5 so left in the wall. The 9 so making the Peiko very unlikely. So one of those left. Oh, finally gets Tenpai.
But the last 3 discards from Beechin were 9-so, 6-so, 9-so, which significantly cuts Kaz's winning tiles down. Only 2 tiles left in the wall, 1 9-so and 1 6-so. And then we have 2 6-so across the table in Jonathan's hand. So far, everyone discarding safe tiles.
No one really has like the value. Oh, I guess on the left there's 2 Dora, but he doesn't have this dangerous 6-so.
Yeah, and being in first, Oliver doesn't have a bunch of incentive to push here.
Just the 1 9-so left in the wall.
That is the Takome. Would give Kaz the Apeiko. Otherwise, it's just Ricci Pinfu. Three tiles left on the wall.
Yep, still get that sumo.
Home.
It pawns. Yeah, to steal the dealer's last draw. Definitely a good decision. Just a Tenpai payment for Kaz.
Yeah, collecting 3,000 is a perfectly good result there. And once again, we have somebody dealt 2 pairs of dragons and then a single tile. Oliver on the left has a pair of Hatsu, a pair of Chun, and a single Haku.
Home.
With 1 Haku already cut and another Haku in Jonathan's hand, Daisangan almost certainly not going to happen.
Possibly Shosaga. Even then, like Toy double Yakuhai, Honitsu Hanuman, when you're already ahead this much, you might even just like take the Mongon, but you're getting all those So tiles. You might as well at least get Honitsu double Yakuhai. Actually,
could be triple Yakuhai.
Yeah, triple. Yeah, North is a seat win. But it wouldn't change the value.
That is the Dora suit, and can accept the 2-so Dora next to the 4-so, although 2 of those Dora are already in Beechin's hand on the right, and Beechin is, well, not Ishanten, but close. 2 Shanten. could open for Tanyao.
Oh, yeah, top third door draw. Definitely want to open that for
Oh yeah,
Montan.
that's fantastic. All right, now we
Boom.
have Tempai on the left for Oliver, waiting on the 3-so and the 6-so. Although we see 4 of those are in Beechin's hand, and they're certainly not coming out.
Yeah, but he gets
Not the way
another.
things stand, anyway.
Well, he could con the 3-so if it comes to his hand, but the 6-so that would deal in for sure. Maybe not. If he because there's no so tiles in Oliver's hand, we may just want to fold and not throw so tiles.
Now we have Tempai for Beechin, waiting on the 3-mon and the 6-mon. This is Tanyao Door 3.
Chi.
Yeah, keeping it Dama. Oh,
Oh, there's a...
con.
Yeah,
Con.
you can con this,
If
absolutely.
you don't con, you deal
Con.
in.
Whew! Pulls in a 1, flips the 9-peen as the new Dora, which only
Ricci.
benefits Jonathan,
It
and
goes
now
to the
calls
Ricci.
Ricci after that
Sumo.
con.
Oh, the
Oh, but
sumo.
the 6-so
The synchronization.
comes into Oliver's hand first. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Beechin. That would have been a massive win.
Yeah.
Oliver, though, above 60,000 now. Looking at a plus 47 as things stand currently, which would be absolutely huge. Now we have the Dora being the 7-peen, and there is one of those in Beechin's hand. Beechin, a very nice hand here. If Beechin can draw around that 5-so, might get rid of the 1-2-peen.
Yeah. You just draw the 3-pin and then you get the Ryanman. Just Ricci Dora, but definitely take that.
Yeah, it's a perfectly fine place to start in this position as dealer. Across the way, Oliver has quite a lot of Monzu. Just needs a 2-mon to have one of all the numbers and can make a straight that way. The old Itsu is now Ishanten for the Itsu, should the 2-mon come into hand, or the 7-peen for that matter. If Oliver gets into Tempai for the Itsu, do you think he Damas?
Um, maybe. I guess it depends on what the weight is. I guess either way, it's not going to be great. I'd probably dom in this situation. Oh, that 5-mon does give a Suji trap for the 2-mon if he gets the 7-pin. So maybe depends on how greedy you want to be.
Beechan's here has gotten Beechan's hand here has gotten incredibly awkward.
Another Sanzo Con, or maybe not.
Con.
Con. Oh, self Dora 4 Con.
Oh wow. The 3-so, the new Dora. This
And
just became a Dora 6 hand. There's Tempai. Waiting on the 6-mon and 9-mon. Yeah, you have to Ricci it. You would hate to not be able to roll on one of those last two 9-mon if they come out. So I assume everybody just
yeah,
absolutely folds like kites to this.
yeah, the entire weight is in the pond or in other players' hands, I believe. No, maybe 1-9 mon left in the wall.
Yeah, that is exactly correct. That was Headless Ishanten for Kaz, but we can see, I mean, when dealer has 4 Dora revealed and is called Ricci, don't really want to mess with it.
Yeah, for sure. So there's that 1-9 mon left in the wall. Oh no, it just showed up in Jonathan's hand. So the weight's
So
completely dead.
as long as everyone continues to play. Oh,
Oh,
but
it comes out!
deals the 9 in.
Probably. They thought it was like one chance based on the number of 8-mon, but there's only 2 8-mon in the pond.
And
Oh, Biamon, Ura 2, Dora
gets
6.
2 aura for the 24K. Well, and now Beechin is nipping at Oliver's heels. Oh wow.
And what a hand, man. Another great starting end.
Yeah, it was 8 Han without the Ura, so it was actually a Baimon anyway. But whew, it still hurts to see. Really hurts your spirit if you're Jonathan. You've dealt into two absolutely massive dealer hands here, 124k and 118k, both mainly just consisting of Dora after a con. And Beachin, 2 Shanten here, has one too many blocks. Might get rid of one of these pairs soon. What would you cut first if you're Beachin?
The one mon just for possible Tanyo. Chi the 4. I mean, if you're just thinking about like dealership, you just Chi the 4 so immediately if it comes out.
リーチ
Jonathan getting the Ricci here, though, waiting Kanchan on the 8 mon. This is Ricci only.
Three
Would
of
really just like a win of any sort. The 9 peen is the Dora, and the only one we see in hands is Oliver's across the way.
Yeah, just one of those 8 mon left in the wall.
All right, if you're Kaz here, Kaz's Tenpai waiting on the 6 mon has no Yaku.
Oh,
Sumo.
just Sumo. That's your Yaku.
But the problem is that doesn't really help them very much. They're at 21. They're at 21k now. You still need to win a Hanuman unless somebody tosses a Ricci stick onto the table. You still need a Hanuman to get over 30k. And if you're Kaz, you'd really like to get over 30k. You're at negative 56 right now. The cutoff, the last safe spot is Max at negative 20.1. So at the very least, you need to pass him. Although that's going to be changed after with Oliver's big score here. Even if Oliver drops into second, it's still going to pass Max, certainly. I guess barring a Yakuman deal in, but
it's not great for me. They're going to both be above my score. Lots of terminals on the left doesn't go. Well, not really enough to go for Kokshi, but maybe if you dream, but
I mean, Jonathan's going for Suanko here. 2 Anko, 2 pairs in hand. Just 2 away for Suanko, or, Ishanten for a normal hand. But that's not near as fun. On the right, Oliver has very nice shapes now after cutting that 7-so. Ryanman in the Pinzu and the Sozu, and then, let's see, a complete shape in Monzu, and then that 3-5-5-6-6 Mon shape, which can easily become 2 shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that is 2 Shanten for Oliver on the right. And we have Jonathan entering Ishanten. Beachin's hand on the left is still a mess.
Yeah. If you kept the Souths, could have called. Probably wants to end this early, but just can't quite do it. Might call for Chanta, I guess.
Jonathan has just entered Tenpai. Oh, but rejects the Tenpai.
Yeah.
I mean, could have discarded the 3-mon and stayed Dama since that was Ipeco, and then if you draw a 4-so or 6-so, you have your Suanko Tenpai, but is going to just totally greed for it here. And is staying Ishanten.
Yeah, the 1-mon still in the wall. 4-so, one's still in the wall, and then the 6-so. It's one of those left.
Beachin on the left just keeps pairing up tiles. Now has 5 pairs. Has shifted for Chitoy, discarding one of those Easts.
And when the 1-mon comes out to Kaz's hand, at this point, if something comes out, you probably just pawn and go for Toy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep your dealership. Like, you certainly can't lose dealership here.
Do you pawn the 1? No, Paz is going big or going home.
Yeah, that is exceptionally greedy for sure. But we've seen it pay off for a couple of players already this season. Oliver Ishanten on the right. Perfect Ishanten, as a matter of fact. Oh, there's Tempai for Beachin on the left. Is waiting Dama on the 7-mon.
Those are stuck in other players' hands. They
Home.
seem unlikely to come out, but it could easily change that weight.
Oliver calls Chi. Is switching to a Tanyao.
Dora
There-
Tonki on the left. Chi Toy Dora 2.
Home.
Yeah, switched up the weight. Now we have the pawn of the 1-mon. So now the 4-so and the 6-so deal in. With that 5-mon cut, Oliver enters Tempai, waiting on the 3-peen and the 6-peen.
Just
There's
one
2 more of those left in
so-
the wall.
Could still get Sananko in that last 6-so, but what are the chances? Only one more draw now after this one.
Oh,
Ooh,
there's the
Dora.
8-so into Oliver's hand.
Yeah, definitely don't want to throw that.
Chi.
Does not deal it. Very wise there. Now we have Tempai for 6-so and 9-so for Kaz. The 6-so gives, well, I guess on this last draw, anything would work. Nope.
So
All right, everybody
Dora-
Tempai except Oliver.
Yeah, that brings Oliver to a lot easier striking distance. We need just a 2-han now because of the Hanba for Beachhead to take that first place position.
So we'll see how Beachin and Oliver kind of duel it out here, try and keep Jonathan from getting a repeat and steal first from each other. And then Kaz, of course, now at 22,000 with that no 10 payment, all you need is a Mongon to get over 30k. So a little bit easier for Kaz here. Although Jonathan's hand is continuing apace already, Ishanten. The 6-peen is the Dora, which we already see 3 of those out. 2 in Oliver's hand on the right and 1 in Beachin's hand on the left.
It could be Crossway. Kaz might have like maybe a 79 Sanchoku. Now throws a 7 out, but it's like Sanchoku Chanta.
Well, I mean, might be going Honitsu here.
Yeah. That would be
Home.
Oh, the Green Dragon would be a Yakuhai, but needs another for that manga.
Chi.
Oliver takes the Dorapon. Beachin takes a Tanyao Chi. So Beachin now Ishanten. Oliver has a bit of a ways to go here. Tossing the north, so going for Tanyao rather than Toy Toy. Jonathan made an interesting decision earlier. Tossed the 4-peen and kept the 1-2-peen, perhaps thinking about 1-2-3 Sanshoku, although much further from that than a normal hand.
Yeah, and you still need a pair.
Right? That solves the pair problem. So Ishanten once again just needs a 3. Kaz not drawing anything helpful.
And Beachhead does have the Ishanten for Tanya Dora, which would be, I think it's Tenpai now.
That is in fact Tempai, waiting on the
Gee.
1-peen and the 4-peen. An interesting Atazuke, given that 2 of the 4-peen are already discarded.
Yeah, and the 1-pin would not be a Yaku.
No.
Oh, but it comes out.
Directly from Oliver. Didn't need it to be direct, but got it direct anyway.
Yeah, it's a decent swing. Almost Mangan. Actually, no, more than... Yeah, like Hanuman swing from that.
Yeah, with all of the shifting Uma, I mean, that's going to give Beachin a plus 43.9, which makes Beachin effectively safe unless they take a last like Jonathan's here with that negative 62.4 in that final Hanchan. Oliver, with a plus 31.5, is also going to leave the current demotion spots, but is still certainly in danger. Minus is going to be at like, what, minus 3.5, something like that, ish? Or 3.1. I don't know. It'll refresh in a second. Kaz,
Yeah.
that minus 13 really hurts Cats. Being at minus 69, as much fun as it may be, makes getting out of demotion a little bit more difficult. You're going to need a pretty big first to achieve that.
Yeah, Oliver with the plus 3.9 there. That's like the exact situation I was worried about. They win enough, and then if Max also gets out, or Oliver can still get shut down at demotion range.
Oh,
Definitely,
absolutely.
yeah. As long as he gets like third or fourth, if
Well,
it's
if you think about it, Beachin isn't totally safe here either. Like if you take a fourth, say you end up at -9, right? So just below fellow commentator Dustin here. Max
right,
still has a game left. So if Max gets, more than 12 points, a reasonable second, then that would put Beachin in that 12th spot, which is the first spot that gets demoted. So even though you got up to plus 37.7, you still don't want to take a fourth in this next game and risk falling below Dustin. So now with Oliver's big jump up, if things were to cut at this exact moment, Max would be the first out, and Dustin would be the first safe player. So that big negative 11.4 gap between Dustin and Max, that's where you don't want to be living, especially since Max still has a game left.
yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, that certainly spices things up. An absolutely massive win for both Beechin and Oliver, though. I mean, I know Oliver didn't win. Oliver came in second, but that was a huge second.
Yeah, it's like Oliver had such a big lead like earlier on, but just those massive wins, and then the final strike at the end to get that first place Uno as well. So that helped me out a little bit.
And it looks like their game has just now started. So we will come back to you with the second Hanchan in about 5 minutes here. I am going to step away, get myself a drink. It's currently 89 in my house, so I need some cold liquid to help me out.
Yeah, definitely. It's fairly high.
Yeah, it's hot, but we'll make it through. Mahjong's worth it. And as we look at this score sheet here, you might notice that if you missed all of the action on, let's see, what day was that? Friday? Thursday? It was one of the two.
I think it's Friday.
Friday. Uh, Huang just went absolutely beast mode on everyone. Was sitting in like the fifth or sixth range, kind of where Simon and Eric are now, I believe, or maybe Zhu and Simon, and just like won three bursts at, I mean, one of the most high powered, at least well known high powered tables that we have. I mean, everybody in A1 is incredible, obviously. But I mean, a lot of people know Steve, Eric, and Light Pink Yoshi, Max here. And Huang just came in and like took them to school. The flow was entirely with him and is at now a whopping plus 22.7. I mean, I'm pretty sure could just sumo Giri the entire fourth Hanchan and still be champion for this season.
Yeah, short of dealing into some Yakuman or something like that.
Like several Yakuman would need a minus 120. A minus 120 would put Huang point 0.1 underneath Jeremy. So you think that's 20 from being the only person below 30K, and then minus 100 besides, which would be a negative 70,000. So you could deal into 3 Yakuman and still not be there. But we are starting the final Hanchan of this set, an absolutely crucial Hanchan for the fate of the bottom of A1 here, trying to avoid promotion into demotion, rather, into A2. Kaz is our first dealer and already has a Dora 5-Bon in hand in a very nice Nobeton shape. The rest of the hand could use a little help, but has good floaters, so might be able to speed this up. On the right, though, Jonathan's hand. That's the one to be looking at right now. I mean, is Ishan
More and
10 for
more
Chinitsu?
pins. Yeah, I'm not great at reading.
Yeah, that's actually
Shinichi,
good
but
Ishan 10 for Chinitsu with that 6 pin. Is now Tenpai on
another pin.
the 2 pin, 5 pin. Other things surely deal into that.
Surely. I mean, we see all the pin, and only those are highlights. Or there's just the 2-5 pin.
Oh yeah, you're right. We do see all the pin.
Actually, I don't. Yeah, we see. Yeah, but you might as well reach it.
Each.
No one's gonna expect it. But although I guess you do have most of that 2 pin in your hand, though, so there could be a weight upgrade somewhere. But I don't even know
Surely
how.
that's a weight upgrade, right?
Of that.
Well, we have Oliver now waiting on the 2 pin and the 5 pin.
Sure, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it actually changed the weight.
Well, the 2 pin certainly can't win anything. I think Jonathan's weight got worse. I think now is Jonathan even Tenpai anymore? 7, 8, 9, and then 3 8s. And then you would have to have a 5 pin. So yes. Is Tenpai, but now it's a single weight on the 5 pin.
Each.
Now calls Ricci on this 5 pin single weight.
Yeah, they're all stuck in people's hands, though.
I mean, I can't really see anybody discarding a 5 pin into this Ricci.
Yeah.
I mean, this would be a pretty disastrous double roam, though. There's only one 2 pin left in the wall.
Right, that one tile is all you need, though. Unless it's in the dead wall.
Which it could easily be. There are 14 of them down there, after all. Yeah, I mean, Kaz and Beachin just dodging here.
Oh, the last 2 pin.
Yeah, I mean, and Kaz is not close enough to Tenpai to push even for K10.
Yeah, that is annoying, especially when you need like a really good game. It's your dealership, and you have to deal with two Richis.
I mean, that 9-peen was, I think, the first upgrade tile drawn that entire time for Jonathan. And I'm not even 100% sure it would have been an upgrade. So, oh, wow. Look at the hand on the left. Kaz just,
Two Anko already.
yeah, is 2 Shanten for Suanko right off the bat. So we're just seeing some absolutely bonkers hands at the beginning of this round, although they're not winning. And there's
Another Anko.
What do you toss here?
6. Oh.
I feel like I would have held on to the 6 just for the outside Chinitsu chance. Not taking the con.
Just throw the 1. So
Boom.
Oh man, can you imagine Suanko Tonki waiting on the pay?
that would just be dirty.
We do have a call on the right from Oliver, calling the Hatsu.
Although it is a seat wind. Throws a Dora. I mean, if you're going Suako, you don't need Dora.
Yeah, Dora does not increase the value of a Yakuman hand. Beachin finishing one of those Ryanman shapes. 2 Shanten now.
But unfortunately, the other 2 Sanzo are in Beachin's hand. So you have to pair up that Pei or Red Dragon. But Beachin also has 2
Boom.
Pei.
No Chun visible, so that would actually be the easiest path to Tenpai. We have a headless Ishanten for Jonathan now.
Another Chun drawn by Beachin, but you don't want to throw Chun against 2 Dragon Pawns.
Chi.
There's Tenpai for Oliver on the right, waiting on the 5-so and 8-so. And we actually see 2 different pairs in Kaz's discards, which is kind of tragic.
Yeah, especially not believing the Mon tiles.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't end up Suanko, if you have those 2 9-so in hand and you end up Sananko waiting on 3-so and 9-so, I mean, that's still quite the whopper. I mean, it'd be Toy Toy, Sananko, Dora 2 or 3.
Right.
We have a switch up of weight for Oliver, now waiting on the 6-so and 8-peen.
1 6-0, 1 8-pin left in the wall.
With Kaz's discards, Kaz could actually be Tenpai for a full flush Suanko at this point. The Easts flipped as Dora, all of those... Wait, are all of those discarded? I see 1 in the discards. No, there's 2.
Yeah, no one has them in the hand.
Jonathan Ishanten cannot find Tenpai.
Oh? It's Tenpai for Suwanko. They're all locked up, though.
Yeah. Not a Suanko that can win being Suanko is really, really hesitant to toss that tune and doesn't.
Yeah. Can't throw the tune to the 2 Dora pawn, 3 calls, hand.
To be honest, though, we say can't. I mean, Kaz needs a plus 50 here.
Yeah.
I feel like, winning a Yakuman is going to be your best bet of making that up. I mean, we can see that it's dead, but
it's also fairly late, so
Jonathan gets into Tenpai on the final draw, though, and so we are going to have a repeat here. There are now 2,600 points in the middle, so cheap hands might be favored. The only person with a Yakuhai currently is Oliver, with a pair of the Souths on our right. Dealer Jonathan, though, already perfect Ishanten. No, not perfect Ishanten. No, yes, perfect Ishanten. I can read.
Yeah.
Discards that 5-peen, though. The Dora is the 8-mon, which we see a pair of across the way for Beechin, now having 5 pairs. So that is Ishanten for Chitoy.
Each.
Although we're going to have a Riichi here from Jonathan, waiting on the 2-so and 5-so. Riichi Pinfu, no Dora.
Yeah, two so's, 3 5-so's left in the wall. Lots of 6
Sumo.
Ojusi pop sumo.
Yeah,
Reaching.
very, very nice hand.
No aura, but plenty of 6 on the board and the dealer bonus.
Yeah, that made it all add up to almost a dealer Mongon. It was just 600 points shy, although 1,000 of those points were yours.
Right.
So going into East 2 bonus round 3, another fairly nice hand for Jonathan here, trying to think about what direction to take it. What do you think Jonathan was considering on that first discard?
Probably like efficiency or just throwing out the East. Like double East is great to have, but might be sometimes better just throw it. Maybe even Cheetoy, but throws away the 4th pair.
Yeah, I wonder if Jonathan's considering Honitsu at all, throwing away that pair of 3-mon. Although the hand effectively now only has 2 pairs, if we're thinking about the blocks. Oh, there's a pawn from Oliver. Another, so it's now Tenpai waiting on the 9-peen. Could upgrade to Chanta on a 9-so draw. If the 9-so came out of Jonathan's hand, would you cheat it and discard the 9-peen?
Probably not, just because it's so. I mean, you have to throw away your. You have to get another tile to get the Chanta Tenpai. Then your 3 calls in. If someone reaches, you're really exposed.
Oh, there's another 9-peen, so that would have been a sumo for Oliver had he kept it. The Dora is the 9-so, it should be mentioned. No one has any in hand, and none in the discards yet. The weight did shift to a 5-so, 8-so weight, which there are not many of left of the wall. No 8-so and only 2 5-so. And now we have a Nobuton weight waiting on 6-so, 9-so.
Yeah, might be able to switch to Chanta Dora double Yakuhai. Chi from Jonathan going to go for that Honitsu. Won't have a Yakuhai though necessarily, so it could just be the 2000 though.
That 9-so probably not coming out of Beechin's hand. And yeah, it's always rough going for the Honitsu with no Yakuhai, but I think Jonathan here is probably just thinking about maintaining this dealership for forever. We do have a Riichi on the left from Kaz, waiting on the 4-peen and 7-peen. There, on the 7-peen, it would be Sanshoku, a 5-6-7 Sanshoku. Otherwise, it is just Tanyao, Riichi Tanyao. No Pinfu because of the Anko of 4-mon.
Yeah, the 7 pins, 3 out, and the last one fits in Beechin's hand. So probably not getting that Sanchoku.
And the 4-peen, there are only 2 of those left in the wall.
Yeah, Oliver's still pushing. Definitely a good push. 3, maybe 4 on. Oh, it gets Ikumo on the Dora.
So that's going to be a Mongon pulling in that other 9-so. So Oliver back in the lead. Just going to edge out Jonathan barely by 1,000 points here. All right, and now we go into East 3. Dealer has a pair of the tone. So perfectly ready to call and open up this hand. Has one of the Dora 9-peen. Will be accepted into the hand with an 8-peen draw, I'm sure. And then a bunch of Kanchans and pairs in the Manzu. Jonathan on the left could possibly go for an Itsu of the So tiles, and Beechin on the right could possibly go for an Itsu on the Peen. Although it's a little bit further away for Beechin. Although Beechin is closer to making just, a normal hand. Although not anymore. That is Ishan-10 for Jonathan on the left, and Ishan-10 for Beechin on the right. So very quick hands. Tempai for Jonathan. Calling Ricci, waiting on the Dora Tonki.
Yeah, those are all stuck in one in each other player's hand.
Yeah, this is really, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate for Jonathan, because it is probably going to require that people fold their hands to be able to use it. Since everybody has one of the 9-peen, no one's going to be able to pair them up. It's just going to be a matter of whether people can pull in 8-peens or not, or make Dora Tonki weights as well.
Right.
Oliver
still
just totally
possible.
folding. And like you said, it is possible as we see Beechin pulling in the 7-peen.
Yeah, everyone has either the 7 or the 8.
Yeah, Oliver playing very, very safe here. As we mentioned, this is a demotion match for somebody, possibly multiple somebodies here. Not Jonathan, because he's a sit-in. But for everyone else, this is a potential demotion match. Beechin not liking being so close to last place, I'm sure. Oliver being very protective of this first. I mean, any positive score is fantastic for Oliver. If Oliver stays above 30K, is going to be entirely safe.
Yeah.
Wow, Beechin able to pull in all of those Pinzu tiles. Has one more chance to get to Tempai, although with that 7-mon drop is not going to get there.
Yeah, just gonna be safe and fold.
So Jonathan's
3,000
going to
for
be the only
Jonathan.
person Tempai is going to retake the lead that way, although Oliver is, of course, fine with that. The Dora is the 1-so, which can be accepted in a Beechin's hand here. Has very nice shapes. The complete shape in Pinzu, and then all of those nice Sozu. A pair of the South, so can still get Pinfu with this hand. Or could push really hard for Honitsu, although I doubt we will see that, what with a complete shape elsewhere already.
Yeah, probably not.
We see a Dora pull for Kaz on the right.
Yeah, actually Ishanten, Ricci Pinfu Dora.
A pretty beautiful Ishan-10. Is keeping the safe West tile, ditching the 1-peen. Yeah, the Chun is a slightly safer safe tile, with 2 already discarded. Across the way, Jonathan is also Ishan-10. Can accept the Haku still. And we see Oliver's dropped 2 Dora.
Home.
Jonathan Tempai waiting on the 3-so.
Yeah, just one of those left in the wall. The 3-sos are very unlikely to come out of the hands that of the players that currently have them. Oh, except keeps it for now. But if you get Tempai,
Look, I wonder. Because if you get Tempai, you could toss either the 1-so or the 4-so. They're equivalent in value, as discarding the 1-so would give you Tanyao, and discarding the 4-so would give you 1 Dora. Oh, but you can't. You'd have 2 pairs, wouldn't you? It'd be a pretty
yeah,
bad Shempon weight.
Chi.
But that would be one way of avoiding dealing in.
We have Toy Toy Tenpai, not Toy Toy, that's a 4-5-6 cheat. We have Tanyao Tenpai on the left for Oliver. It would be San Anko if he's able to pull in the 8-mon or the 7-peen. The 7-peen, of course, are locked up in Jonathan's hand, as is one of the 8-mon. The other 8-mon still
Oh,
in
the
the wall.
Tenpai on the right.
All
What do you
right,
drop?
what's the decision? What would you drop?
And
Each.
I'm dealing on the Sansa. Oh, he throws a Forso. Avoids the deal in.
And is now waiting on the 3-so and the 7-mon. Where are the 7-mon? There's one in Jonathan's hand, one in the wall. So this is Richidor 1. Going to be a very hard one to win, though we've seen a lot of people sumoing that final tile on the wall.
Yeah, I just like wonder what's going through his mind. Like avoid that deal in.
I mean, because the 3-so would give you Pinfu. You'd be Richi, Pinfu, Dora 1?
But this is the Champon. I mean, yeah, it's a Champon though. It doesn't get the Pinfu.
No, I mean, if you discard the 3-so. If
I
you
mean,
call Richi
yeah.
discarding the 3-so, you'd have Richi, Dora, Pinfu. And it's not like the weight would have been worse than this Champon is. As it is, we're going to have everybody but Oliver Tenpai. Oliver now has lost 6,000 points to no 10 payments. That is draining him pretty quickly. Is going to definitely want to win a hand here soon.
Yeah, taking even a Mongon or some small sumos could lead him into demotion range. Every point counts with the margins of this thin.
Now the Dora is the 3-mon. That is an awkward hand for Kaz on the right. Has a complete 5-6-7. Oh, has a complete 3-4-5. I was just so enamored with all of the pairs that I failed to notice that we had a sequence in the Pinzu as well.
Doesn't have a pair, but could get Ryan Peiko with 2 draws.
Yeah, so is 2 Shanten for that Rian Peiko, E Shanten for a normal hand, for just a normal like E Peiko Pinfu hand. We do have a pawn of the 1-mon across the way. What do you think Jonathan's going for here? Toy Toy?
I guess it has to be. Maybe if you have a lot of Turos, you could maybe draw to Hanroto Toy Toy.
That would require discarding 2 of the Dora 3-mon. There's Tenpai on the right for Kaz.
Oh yeah, Dora 3-mon, definitely Toy Toy Dora too.
Alright, so we are calling Richi, discarding the 3-peen. So we have Richi Ipeiko for Kaz on the right, waiting on the 8-so. There are 2 left in the wall, and 1 stranded in Beechen's hand. There's 1 stranded in Oliver's hand now as well. Fits a little bit better into Oliver's hand than Beechen's.
Yeah, they could still be integrated at least. But the 5, so makes Suji deals in.
Yeah, a very good thing to point out there. No Uro though. So Oliver now getting scarily close to 30k. Kaz climbing up. And we are entering South 1. The Dora is the 9-mon. Kaz has a pair of the Haku, just filled in a Kanchan. A great second draw there. Is going to pawn the Haku. What would you discard?
I feel the 1-so is fine. At least with the 1-3, you have the possibility to upgrade to the 3-4.
Is favoring those floating middle tiles over the Pinchon. Across the table, Oliver has 2 pairs of Yakuhai. Just made the shapes a little bit better with that 7-so pull in. The Hatsu and the Chun. Gets the Chun. Is 2 Shanten. Is going to have to discard one of those shapes. It's interesting. The 4-mon discard there actually keeps you from really being able to accept the 9-mon. With the 4-mon in hand for Kaz, the 9-mon gives you a Kanchan waiting on the 4/6, although, that's not a great weight.
You can still cheat and just throw one of your other, probably 5 or maybe a 1/3 pin.
That is true. Is actually going to throw the 1/3 right now,
Each.
but could still cheat and then discard the 3-pin. Oh, we have Tenpai for Jonathan on the right. That is Ricci only, waiting on the 3-so.
Just one of those left in the wall. It would be.
Ricci.
There's a Suji trap set though. But
Oh, and now we have a competing Ricci from Beachin on the left, waiting on the 3-mon and the 6-mon. That is Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are still 3 tiles left in the wall on that weight. 1 6-mon, 2 3-mon.
oh, the Sazo deals in.
Absolutely incredible. There was only, I guess there was 2 left in the wall there, but another Suji trap paying off, and Jonathan extending that lead. Now at 44,700. The 8-pin is Dora, which can technically be accepted to the hand with the 9-pin there.
Technically, it's just you could make 7, 8, 9 Sanchoku out of this, but it's like so many. You got 3 pairs, so the shapes are not great. 4th pair now. And another 4 pairs across the way with 2 Dora for Beachen.
And, well, the East is not a Yakuhai, unfortunately. I guess could call for Toy Toy, although the 5-pin makes that a bit of a harder rub.
Yeah, but if
Oliver
the
has a
5-pin
pair
comes
of
out,
double Sal's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
if the 5-pin comes out, maybe just that's like the hardest tile to palm. Maybe you just go for it.
There is a
Possible
5-pin.
Kang.
There is a 5-pin stranded in Oliver's hand. Oh, we do
Con.
see the con from Kaz, and it makes the 5-pin Dora. That's going to make it much harder to come out of Oliver's hand. We see no pawn of the 1-mon for Beachin. Oh, interesting. Discards the 4-mon. I would have considered discarding that 8-so and 9-so there.
Yeah. You like turn this into a normal hand, maybe. Especially with 4 Dora. Although it'd be hard to get all 4 of those unless one of those turns into an Anko. Then you get a 5th one.
Or if it turns into Chi Toy.
Right, but if it's turned into Cheetoy, then the 2, 3, 4 doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really affect anything, whether you have the 2, 3, 4 or the 8, 9. Does seem to be favoring a normal hand, discarding that 9-so there. Ishan 10 for Kaz. Now has the pair. Ishan 10 for Chi-Toy for Jonathan. Oh, do we see one of the Dora 5-pin come out here? Or perhaps a 1-mon first? Yeah, discards the 1-mon.
1-mon.
What would you have discarded?
I guess, yeah, maybe the 8. So, I guess with the 1, 2, 3, you can kind of have a normal hand with this.
Each.
We do finally have a Ricci from Kaz on the left, drew into it, now waiting on the 2-so and the 5-so. This is Tanya Dora 1 plus the Ricci for Kaz.
Yeah, 2 9-so, 1 6-so left in the wall.
Four pairs for Oliver on the right. So many pairs this hand.
Sumo.
Oh, and draws the 6-so. Gets the
As that was the Takame.
And
Oh,
Dora
gets 2
2!
Dora! That was an absolutely massive win for Kaz and a very, very bad one for Oliver. So Kaz above 30,000 now. The really unfortunate part is Kaz doesn't have a dealership left, so I mean
Yeah,
needs to get to
Pump.
about plus 60 in 2 non-dealer turns. So really needs massive hands. Oliver, meanwhile, just needs to get back above 30k, make yourself safe, and has a pretty nice hand for it here. The Dora's the 3-so.
yeah. Although Kaz would need a lot. Just pawns the Chun. He just wants to get out of this game.
Ishan 10 for Oliver. Could incorporate that Dora 3-so.
You could switch to Mon Hanitsu. Pretty good shapes for it.
Ooh, that's a good point for
But
Kaz's hand across the way.
it's not
Pump.
nearly enough. But every bit helps.
Tenpai for Jonathan, waiting on the 4P and the 7P on the left. That's Tanya Dora 1.
A fairly good Ishanten could even get Itsu for the dealer, possibly even 3-sided weight.
Yeah, Jonathan just kind of laying in wait here to
Pump.
execute this hand. Now we have a 4-mon 7-so Tenpai for Kaz. For Chun only.
Yeah, just the 7-sos left in the wall. The 4 are stuck in others' hands. Oh, the 3-sided
Each.
weight for the Itsu
Takes
potential.
it.
Either Michinomi or Itsu.
So now we have 3 Tenpais here. Oh, but
Nope,
the
it deals
17 is going
in.
to deal into Jonathan. Tanya
Tanya
Dora
Dora.
1. So minus 2,000. So as it currently stands, Ash has, let's see, minus 4.1 and then minus another 5. So minus 9.1. So Oliver still actually fine with the
Yeah.
scores as they are, but can't really afford to lose another 2,000 points.
Just can't
Either
deal
wants to
in.
win this hand or have someone else deal in and end it.
Pump.
Yep. Goes for the pawn on his seat wind. Definitely looking to end it, but the shapes could use a little bit of help. Fills
Well, I
in
mean,
the Ryman though.
yeah, Beechin already has a fantastic Ishanten here, is headless, and with the Anko of 6-so can, I mean, the acceptance on this hand is absurd.
Yeah, just probably throw the 6-0 for your pair. You get Ricci, Pinfu.
Plus
And
a
Dora.
Dora with the 9-pin in hand. So that's going to be a fast Tenpai for Beechin more than likely. Just not there yet. And Oliver just keeps drawing Yakuhai tiles.
Yeah, unfortunately he drew a south after discarding one earlier. Gets a Ryman shape upgrade though.
And let's do the math really quick for Beechin. Beechin's at 17,900, so that would be minus 12.1, minus 15. It's minus 27, which so Beechin's still perfectly fine.
Right.
The
but at
game
the
ending
same
right now
time,
does not hurt Beechin.
Yeah. I guess it could be one of those things. Maybe throws away Tenpai at the end.
Yeah, I certainly would, but I'm also a coward.
Oh.
Beechin taking the Tenpai, discarding the 9-so, so we have the Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. Only took 6 tiles for that beautiful Ishanten to finally come to fruition.
Chi.
Now we see how willing is Oliver. Yep, Oliver calls the 2-so. Doesn't discard the unsafe 2-pin, though. Discards the 7-so Suji instead.
Yeah, I know. I think if you're like gonna call like that, you might as well just go for Tenpai. But then again, it's Steal or Reach. Maybe you don't even want to call that. Like that dealing into that could like take you into demotion range.
Dealing in would be an absolute catastrophe. The 1-pin slightly safer, I suppose, it being a terminal.
Yep, Tenpai now in the 3-pin. Just one of those left in the wall for Oliver.
Sumo.
Oh, the sumo from Beechin.
So Ricci,
Ricci.
Sumo, Kenfu, Dora.
Dora for Mongon. Dear Mongon.
All right,
Man.
so now Oliver's in trouble.
That's down to the wire. It's not like minus 13. Still like
Nope.
just barely.
Oliver's in last
Oh,
now.
and last. Oh no, that's
So now things are really, really rough for Oliver.
yeah, that's minus 23.
Yeah, you absolutely cannot afford a minus 23.
Needs a Mongon, has a door, but lots of unconnected terminal tiles. If you get the Dora paired up, I mean, there could be the Mongon potential there, but so I could definitely see why you'd want to like push the hand before it tried to, but just couldn't get it before the sumo.
And we have a scary hand on the right in that it would end things for Oliver. I mean, especially with that 8-mon draw. I mean, this is 10-5 for Itsu. Waiting on the 3-mon. You just have to discard the Tuso. And is calling the Ricci.
Ricci, Itsu. 2 outs left in the wall.
Yeah, Ricci, Itsu. Beachin dealing in is not enough for Oliver. Unless Ura are hit. So, I mean, if you're Oliver, you have to push against this. You don't really have a choice. And there's the chase, waiting on the 7-so. That is Tanyao, Dora 1, Ipeco, Ricci. So that is enough, especially with the Ricci sticks. If Oliver can win this...
3 7-so left in the wall.
Oh, wow. This is tense. Still 2.
Oh, they get 7-so!
Oliver getting the clutch sumo right at the end to claim second, get out of demotion range after being safe for most of the Hanchan, and just barely scraping by. So Jonathan taking a nice little first with 20.6. Oliver with that plus 6.2 is going to be totally safe. Beachin with the minus 19.2 also totally safe. So they will both be in A1 next season. Kaz, unfortunately, with a minus 7.6 is definitely going to be demoted. There's not going to be any getting out of 14th place here for Kaz. But wow, what an incredible ending to that game.
Yeah, it's so like down to the wire. And I think you couldn't have like, yeah, if you try like dom that, you could win, but that wouldn't necessarily be enough.
Yeah, it would have just been Tanyao, Ipeco, Dora 1, plus a Ricci stick and a Homba. So yeah, you have to call Ricci. Because if you get a direct hit on Jonathan, that does you no good. A direct hit on either of the other two and you switch positions, I mean, you're fine.
Right, still just so close. Sometimes you just throw in the Ricci stick and just pray you get the tile you need.
And sometimes it works out. Whew. Well, that was an absolutely incredible finish. We actually just had the other, let's see, the B2 B3 game just finished across the way, and like at that table over there, I'm sure you all see it. I'm kind of lost in. I'm trying to find the game results in the Discord. I can't find it. Okay, there we go. So in that last game, so actually we have a sit-in, I do believe, playing in this game. We won't say the results because here we are. We're here. On the left, that Creed 6 feet is Jacob, who will be sitting in this game. We are sitting behind Cruz. On the right is Blaine, and across the table is Edwin. Edwin has a Champone weight on the 3-pin and the Haku, called Ricci on turn 2.
Yeah, really early. Needs Actually, if the stick that you put in, just anyone would bring him out of last.
That's probably why that Ricci was called, to make sure that a three-peen win didn't get missed.
Although maybe in that situation you just
Pump.
Dama and hope someone just throws the Haku.
つも
Blaine is
Oh,
fighting
just
this,
sumo
trying to
the
get above
3-pin.
30K. Oh, but we do see the sumo on the three-peens. That's going to be Ricci sumo, no Ura. So Edwin going to secure third place there.
And Creed
So we
having a
see,
great game.
yeah,
Being
an
Edwin has
absolutely
over
amazing game
30,000.
for Jacob.
I think maybe that sumo brought Blaine below 30,000. Maybe not.
Blaine was at like Blaine was just was at 29.8 before that sumo. So
Like thin margins though.
very, very thin. So going into this fourth Hanchan, we have Cruz in first at plus 49.9, Blaine in second at negative 0.4, Edwin in third at negative 28.4. So it's going to be a very, very tight competition here. I mean, Cruz even is not safe. If Cruz comes in last and Edwin comes in first, you could very easily picture a situation with Blaine coming in second or even third, in which Cruz gets knocked down to third. And if Cruz's third is worse than Anya's third from the other B2, B3 playoff at that negative 3.4, then Cruz would end up in B3 rather than B2. So not safe by any means for any of the players here, and nobody is kicked out here. Jason, unfortunately, not able to make the Hanchan, so will be in B3 rather than B2, since they cannot gain points here. But Edwin, Blaine, and Cruz are going to have a very, very tight play.
Yeah, I feel like that point margin is reasonably safe. I think before this Hanchan, Cruz was sitting about 70, 80, which is a lot better, but it's still the possibility that worries you.
Yeah, this is where sometimes it might be better just not to think about the math too much and just play, and you might be a little less stressed out. Just look at it, say, I'm probably safe, and chill. But let's see. It looks like that the final B2 B3 playoff game just started. Word on the street says. So that'll be in about 3 minutes. And after this, so the final A1 game is currently being broadcast on Korak's channel. So if you would like to see that, you can hop over there. The link is in the chat, or you can stay with us to see this final B2 B3 playoff game. After these two Hanchan, the final Hanchan will be tomorrow. I believe B1 still has one table that needs to finish up a couple games. And then the spring season will be totally done.
Yeah,
Get
but
a
I know a lot of a good. Well, I don't know exactly how many, but a good amount of players will be playing the Ricci Nomi tournament next week. So no rest for Mahjong for those players.
Oh, absolutely not. Are you going to be going, Dustin?
I am going to be going there.
Yeah, me too. It'll be my first time playing like in person with tiles, trying to follow the rules. So I'm pretty horrified, if I'm completely honest.
Oh yeah, I believe there's something was posted about the potential penalties for messing up. It's not as bad as like WRC where you get 30,000 point chombos. It's like regular 8,000 point chombos, but there's some like dead hands and other stuff like that. That's not confirmed yet, but that we'll be seeing that within a few days.
I am looking forward to it though. It'll be fun. I'll be happy if I'm able to chombo like less than twice. I feel like it'll be a success for me.
It'd have to be pretty bad probably for a chombo. Some things just end up in a dead hand where you just draw and discard it, or can't really just can't win a hand.
But it is going to be good. And then the summer season will start, I believe, right after that, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, starts around July 5th, I believe.
Which is a Tuesday, July 4th on a Monday this year. So I hope many of you are getting some time off work for that. You definitely deserve it.
Definitely.
All right. It looks like our first dealer is going to be Jacob here. And then Cruz will be south, Edwin is west, and Blaine is going to be the final dealer starting off north. So what if you're Edwin at this negative 28.4, what do you feel like you absolutely have to do? Like what in your head is your bare minimum?
For me, at the very least, you gotta push the dealer seat. Like keeping the dealer seat is crucial. At least in like my place, I would just like get like a good game in. So if someone else calls, you need to match that speed. Or if you just know your hand you just can't do it, then you just gotta play it safe and not deal in. But just giving up the dealer, even like folding as a dealer, just hurts because you get twice the penalty on the sumos. Just look for value, hold the door up.
We'll have to see how much of that Edwin puts into play here. We do have the game starting, so our first Dora is going to be the Haku, which there is one in both Jacob and Blaine's hands. We'll see how long they hold on to those. We actually have Ishanten for Chitoy already for Jacob, right on the deal.
Yeah, the 5 pin first drop, maybe a little bit perplexing. Maybe selling out for the cheat
Pump.
toy.
Yeah, I know that the 9-So and the Haku are both better Chitoy tiles, but I'm always wary of dropping a middle tile so early and giving away that what I'm holding as cheat toy. We do have Blaine picking up the second Haku on the left, so there is a Dora pair there waiting to be called, though Cruz has already called the tune on the right. Is two away without a pair or a fifth block.
Yeah, with this point lead, just wants to get the Hanchan over as soon as
Pump.
possible. But Haku Dora comes out for the dealer and Blaine pawns it. Open manga on the board. Not Tenpai yet though.
Still, I guess,
I think it's two
is the... No,
Shanten.
this is two Shanten, right?
Still, open manga though, you gotta take it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're not passing it. Tosses away the 5 Mon. There are Furiton situations with the 6 Mon already in the discards. Holding on to that Hatsu, perhaps as a safe tile, perhaps for a nice Tonki. We do have Tenpai on the right for Cruz, waiting on the 2-pin.
Third 2-pin for the dealer.
A wait switch to the 4-pin for Cruz.
Oh, does this come out right here? I mean, it does need a pair. Maybe not, but
Pump.
goes the 8, so for now gets pawned.
That is an interesting decision. I feel like that's a step back.
Well, with two terminal tiles you could call.
Sumo.
Oh, this is sumo, but I think like it's okay to try to get the toy out there. Just like calling, like it feels like you have agency. If you're stuck in Ishanten hell with cheat toy, it just doesn't feel great. But it's like pawning. It just like feels like you have a choice.
I meant Blaine's decision, but you're right. I think the Toy did make a lot of sense for Jacob there.
Maybe I wasn't sure what his decision was, but anyway, on to the next hand.
The Dora is the 1-So, which we do see in Edwin's hand on the right, although Cruz could accept it next to the 2-So here. Cruz has a pretty nice hand other than that 8-9 pinch on.
Yeah, a few too many pairs though, but some adjacent tiles, some penchants to fill in.
Jacob also has a few pairs on the left. A possible Ipeco in the Monzu with the 1-2-3. Although that 4 gives you a little bit more option, a little bit more maneuverability there. Edwin's hand on the right looks pretty nice, but only has two completed shapes actually. So is that Ishanten?
Um, I think it's at least Ryan Shanton.
Yeah, you're right. Still two away. Has a little bit of excess there. Now? Now looks a little bit better.
I think now it's Shanton.
Now it's Ishanten waiting either to fill in that 1-3 so shape or the 4-5 P. Cruz would really like a 6-7-8 or 7-8-9 Sanshoku here, but just can't seem to pull in anything in the Monzu. We have a Katagiri 6 so for Cruz. Or at least I think it was Katagiri. I don't think that was in hand before.
I mean, he did draw another one. Could switch to 789 Sancho here potentially.
Essentially locking that in now, or at least having the option of locking it in.
Yeah, potential. Well, maybe potentially two on the left, but not exactly. There's a lot of those Montaus there though.
At the very least is Ishanten.
Oh, it's actually all the sevens are being held by Blaine, not conning yet.
At what point do you make that 7-mon con?
Mm, it was me. I just do it instantly, but I guess probably what to get to at least Ishantan.
Is currently 2 Shanten. So
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
have to see what Blaine decides as we come closer to the end of the hand here.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8 discards for Blaine is a bit unfortunate.
That always feels really bad. Cruz's hand also just not moving anywhere.
Yeah, just imagine like Cruz calling Ricci, but then Blaine just cons and is like, oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be incredibly unfortunate. Although with the 4-mon in the discards, the 7-mon could look
Come.
safe, although that would be unnecessary, what with the 6-peen in the hand. We do have the con now, and that flips to Dora for Blaine.
yeah, he did get that Ishanten. Perfect Ishanten even. Although 7-pin, there's Furryton possibility here.
Ooh, this is true.
Throws the 6 instead of the 9. I don't think I agree with that really. Especially like the 6 being a much easier tile for someone to call than the 9.
And everybody just having pretty horrible issues here getting to Tempai. We're going to end with everybody no 10.
Yeah, I feel like
And
that doesn't happen often.
no, I mean, Blaine only got to Ishanten in the middle of the third row, but everyone else was Ishanten pretty early on and just never got anywhere.
Yeah, no one could make. Maybe they could have made calls, but no one ended up making any calls besides that con to at least speed anything up or get K10.
And so it is. We end up in East 3 repeat 1 here. Having moved the dealer onto Edwin, the 6 pin is the Dora, which Edwin can accept. Could even dream about a 4-5-6 Sanchoku or an Itsu in the Manzu here, although the Itsu is pretty far off.
No, not without not out of the realm of possibility though.
Let's see, who has the next best hand though?
Two door on the left, possibly that hand. Could
Oh,
call for Tanyo even as well.
and that's something I've definitely noticed is that as soon as you have that pair of Dora in hand, a lot more people start clicking that pawn button, and it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Does have 4 pairs as well, so could do Chitoy with all those Tanyo 2 to 8 tiles. So not the best tiles to wait on for Chitoy.
Edwin Tushantin now has some pretty nice shapes. Could end up with Pinfu Ipeiko, Dora 1. I always find it awkward when I have a pair of Suji tiles like this 2-so and 5-so. How do you tend to handle those having those in hand, especially isolated like this?
Probably just hope you get the 4-6 for the 5-6 to get the Ryanman. I believe I was pinged with a update for the A1 game. Let's see. South 1 Steve's at 37,600, Max is at 36,700, Eric's at 23,500, and Wong is at 22,200.
And the only person there whose standing is really affecting how things turn out is Max's. So that's going to be the score to keep an eye on. I do believe 36.7 is not quite enough for Max to escape. Oh, is now we have the 3-pin coming into Cruz's hand on the left, and it's discarding the 6, though.
It does.
So we have the Dama wait on the 3-pin for Jacob across the way. There is no Yaku there.
Yeah, could
and
have a
no
really
Ricci.
pretty hand. The potentially Sanchoku Ipeiko, but would have to throw that 3-pin. But with a beautiful hand like that, you can't, and 2 door, you can't not like push that. And it just comes out now.
Yeah, but it doesn't
See,
deal in
but it
because there's
doesn't
no
deal in,
Yaku.
Yeah, I just saw that highlight. I say, oh, not wasn't for the dealer's hand.
Edwin now has an Ishanten. On the right, we have a Champon wait for the 7-mon and the 9-so.
Yeet.
Also not calling Ricci. Sumagiri Ricci on the Hatsu with 16 tiles remaining. Jacob exiting Tenpai with that 9-pin discard.
Just only the 7-mon is left for that. I guess if 4-mon for the Suji trap, but this late, there's plenty of save tiles to just throw.
Boom.
All right, Tenpai now for Edwin. Waiting on 5-mon 5-so.
Just Tanyo Nomi, but you get to keep your dealership and a Ricci stick potentially. You throw the 5, it throws it.
As you said, really needs to hold on to dealerships with this point situation.
Yeah. Gets
And
to
does in fact keep it. This is going to push Blaine and Edwin above 30K and drop Cruz beneath it just on those Tenpai payments. And look at this. Edwin starting out with an Anko of the Tone. So already 2 Han for Edwin. This could be an incredibly fast hand if he decides to just start opening up. None of the Dora 9-so cannot currently accept it, but no one else has any either, so still ahead in value.
I'm getting another update for the A1 game. South 2 max at 44.7. C at 35.6, Eric at 21.5, and Wong at 18.2. Max got a Hanitsu Mangan Sumo. It's not great for me. He's in first place. I might be knocked down,
Still a
but all
couple
last
of
in the beginning.
yeah, still a couple of games there though. So we'll have to see. We'll check in on that for sure. We will let everyone know once that game is complete and give updates if as exciting things happen. Edwin's hand has progressed quite a bit here as Ishanten now.
Yeah, I think that's. Is that a perfect Ishanten? It's a better Ishanten at least.
It is a perfect Ishanten. It's just an imperfect perfect Ishanten
リーチ
because you end up with this Ariamen weight on the 6 mon and 9 mon. So it technically meets the conditions of perfect Ishanten. It's just you're eating up a lot of your own tiles already.
Right.
But that is a perfectly fine weight for the Ricci double tone.
Yeah, just 2 9 mon left in the wall. The rest of those tiles are stuck in other players' hands.
We'll see how willing everyone else is to push against this.
Yeah, most of them are in Cruz's hand though, but he can just fold and just carry with that big point advantage. Definitely doesn't want to push those, but maybe depending on what he gets, something one of those looks safe, maybe.
Well, if Cruz ends up with the 567 Sanshoku, might consider it, but I assume that you are correct and is just going to play safe here.
Yeah, especially against dealer Ricci. You don't want to deal into that, and the scores are so razor thin.
The A1 game just completed, but actually I just remembered that Korak is casting that. So perhaps we'll wait 5 minutes to say what happened in case anyone wants to go over and catch the very end of that game. There's another 9 mon coming into the hand for Jacob across the way.
Yeah, just one now left in the wall. Oh,
Oh,
9
and
comes out.
on that 7-so draw, had a very pretty Ishanten for Tanyao Pinfu Sanshoku and is going to deal right
Aura 2.
into the dealer Mangan. The 2 aura making that a 12,000 point hand. That's absolutely huge. Edwin needed that bad and is now sitting in a much, much better place.
Yeah, still not sure. I guess right now this is about plus 30. So as long as Blaine isn't in second place, but he currently is. It's not quite there, but it's getting definitely right in the right direction.
Well, and with this score, Edwin would be the best third place finisher. So even if he is not able to pass Blaine or Cruz, would still make it in.
Right, but you definitely want to get more of a cushion, especially on your dealer turn.
Oh yeah, certainly. And especially in East 3 when so much can change throughout the game. The Dora here is the 9 mon. Edwin with a pretty decent hand, just needs to call the Haku to speed things along a bit, is 2 Shanten. Now Ishanten. Now keeping the south as a safe tile here. Doesn't want to have end up with a Ricci Nomi hand. Pulling in the 8-so. A good draw for Cruz on the left. Now has a San Minchon in the Pinzu. 2 away though still.
Right, that hand on the right. I wonder what are you even trying to do with that?
And that is it does look kind of unfortunate. An Anko of Norths, an Anko of 5 mon. You have the 1-2-3 completed.
Yeah, I guess it's not. It's like 2 Shanten now, but not any value.
Yeah, it's a very strange 2 Shanten. Now Ishanten with that 4-so draw. you'd probably like to pull in the 3-peen so that you could at least have a shot at Ipeco. Cruz getting an improvement on the left. Cruz now E-Shanten as well.
All right, looks like ping that in south for the A1 game. Max is at 43.7. Eric's at 33.3. Or Steve, rather. Eric's at 22.8, and Huang is at 22.2. It's looking really
Home.
bad for me, but it's okay. Anything could happen.
Yeah, that's one of the very painful things that we talked about the other night about a league like this is being almost being put into these situations where for your own benefit you kind of need to cheer against people that you'd really rather support. We
G.
do see Cruz on the left discarding that 9 mon and the 8 mon.
So many of that weight is in the pawn, though. It's like, what, just one 3-mon left. It's in the wall
Each.
to win on.
Oh, and now we have the late chase Ricci from Cruz. This is going to be
So is the
waiting on
Dora,
the
let's see.
yeah, the 2-so and the 5-so. Ricci, Pinfu, Tan Yao.
But if someone else does draw that 3-mon, it is a safe tile. Against the Ricci, anyway.
There are still 2 more of those 2-so and 5-so left on the wall. They're both 2-sos. Yeah, that's true. I said it was a chase. There's no other Ricci's, but I mean, Dealer was kind of obviously
Yeah.
Tenpai there.
2 calls. The bandit's a Tenpai. Fair enough. I guess with a lead like that, you don't really want to like deal in or anything.
Does have another Dealer turn.
And that weight was almost dead anyway.
Yeah, we still haven't seen that 3-mon come into anybody else's hand yet. Only 4 tiles left on the wall. Yeah. So there's two 2-so and the 3-mon all in the dead wall?
I guess it must have been, yeah.
Oh, and the other 3-mon was drawn. It was just discarded after the Tenpai was given up.
I think it was Edwin's. He just had that 3-mon. But he abandoned Tenpai anyway, so.
So safe for now. Although as safe for now, and now there's a bunch of sticks in the middle. 2,200 points, 1 Ricci stick and 4 Homba. So we'll see if people are scruffing with open hands for that. Blaine's hand looks pretty good here.
Yeah, Edwin with the Green Dragon pair might call for that. And a Dora, but just a lone one.
Yeah, the 1-Han hand is effectively tripled in value when there's so many sticks in the middle, so I could definitely see Edwin doing that. Blaine really hesitating on this discard here. Discards the 8-so instead of the Haku or the Chun. What do you think of that?
And they've been cut once already. I think I just cut those and go for the Tanya, really. What was the 8? You do have like a potential like 3-sided weight shape there, but
Kang.
maybe just keeping those. Oh, the con. I guess that's what you're thinking. Now
take-
there's a dragon.
Yeah, and is E-Shanten now for this Tanya, and the Haku is now Dora.
Yeah. Still keeping it in his hand though. Maybe I guess no, it was just the one thrown out, but what are the chances you get that second to last one and then can pawn the last one or draw them? I don't know. I just throw them out.
Yeah, it's also not my style to make this decision either, but it paid off pretty big for Blaine in that first Hanchan. So we'll see if it pays off here.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna be like be the dealer, con, and presumably want to keep your dealership. I don't know if it'd really be keeping it for so long. It's like the risk if someone else has him finally throws it out.
Edwin also holding on to one of those Haku for a while. We'll see if Edwin tosses it now.
Throws up the
Toss the
door.
West instead.
ポン
That one was only once cut versus the twice cut Haku.
Edwin
Jeez.
still
Gets
two
the Green
shots in.
Dragon. Throws. I guess that's okay. Could potentially get the 3. Is it maybe even more than 3-sided weight? If we could draw us a 4-pin.
地
Now the four pin would be more than a 3-sided weight.
Oh.
Be like a 4-sided weight. But now we are ending up with a 3-sided weight possibility.
Yeah,
4 pin, 5 pin, 7 pin, although the 7 pin is dead, of course.
Yeah, might have. Yeah, maybe you should have like. I guess the 7-8 was for region of the 9, so that's why the 7-8 was discarded.
Oh, that makes sense. I totally missed that 9 early. Oh, this 3-mon would not deal in. That is not.
ドン
There is a Yaku there? What's the Yaku?
Itsu.
Oh, Itsu!
Itsu
Ah, open.
the voice on the board.
Open Itsu always gets me. I miss it when I'm a player. I miss it when I'm a commentator. Dealt into so many of those.
Yeah, it's not the great value, but just the 1 Han, but when there's 6 on the board, just find a way to get them.
And we are moving into South 1 now. The 3-pin is, what's it called? What's Dora? That's what we call it. The 3-pin is Dora. There is one of those in Jacob's hand, who is our new dealer. Could get a 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku. Or even 5, 6, 7, or 7, 8, 9, according to what other draws are made.
Yeah, a lot of ways to get value for this hand.
Blaine on the left looks to be pushing for the Chanta here. Only has 8 distinct terminals and honors, so Kokoshi probably a very far off prospect, although we did see someone get it from 8. Well, we didn't see it. Sylvie got one from 8 while we were broadcasting a different match a couple days ago.
Right. But a hand like that, maybe you just go for it. Depending on what you draw. For now, maybe just Hanitsu, maybe Chanta.
Okay, and the A1 game has finished. So those final results for A1, Max ended up in first with a plus 27.4, and unfortunately, Dustin, that does mean that you are 12th now.
Oh well. I gotta be moving to A2, but still gonna have fun playing Mahjong either way.
Yeah, and A2 is going to have a lot of really incredible players in it, including you next season. So it's still going to be a tough fight in there. Congratulations to Max in holding on to that lead in that final Hanchan to escape demotion, and congratulations to Huang, who is now the league champion for the spring season and will be at that final table with Eric to determine like the big league championship at the end of the year. So just 2 more seats at that table in the summer season and the fall season to figure out who the 4 people will be.
Right. Dealer's been Ishanta in the sand for a bit now. Throws away the 1-3-5. Now it's 2 pairs.
Would really love to draw the 6-mon.
Yeah.
We're going to have a Ricci from Cruz on the right first, though. Waiting on the 6-pin or the 9-pin. So that is Ricci Pinfu, possibly Peiko, possible Tanyao. So the 6-pin is a pretty huge Takame here.
Yeah, 2 Han.
But they are all in hands already. There are 2 9P left on the
Each.
wall, however. Now we have the chase from dealer, waiting on the 5-so or the 7-so. This is Richie Nomi. Did I say 5 or 7? It's the 5 or the 8.
Yeah, 5-8. A lot of them still left in the wall, I
Boom.
think. A 1-5, 3-8, but for this late, it's pretty good.
Oh, and there's the 8.
Richie Nomi.
So at least it's not a big hit value-wise, but it does always hurt to call the first Ricci, feel like you have a pretty decent weight, and then deal into the dealer who chased you.
Yeah.
And as we said earlier, Cruz isn't going to be too terribly hurt by this.
Yeah. Well, he isn't last, though. Some bad dealings could get him out of that top spot.
Oh, for sure. Does have 2 Dora 3-mon on this hand, though. So if there was a hand to make up ground, it would be this one. Dealer's hand could be trending towards a Honitsu here. The only non-Sozu or honor shape is that 8-9-mon. Does not call the 3-so. Still leaving things up in the air.
Jacob throwing out all those pentals maybe wants that Hinitsu, but no value Yakuai pair yet. Definitely committing now. I mean, you might as well have to at that point when your suits is basically dead.
Yeah, it'd be pretty difficult to have a peen weight that wasn't for a 10 at this point. Across the table, Edwin pretty close to Tenpai. That looks like 2 Shanten. Ooh, draws in the Dora. Now Ishanten
Boom.
for Edwin across the way. And now we have the 1-so pawn for Jacob.
Boom.
Yeah, Blaine, if he gets that 3-mon, you get the nice 2-5-8 weight and the pins. Would just
that would be incredible.
Ricci Dora. Only one Dora left in the wall, though. 3-mon.
Boom.
Edwin, in the meantime, has entered Tenpai waiting on the 2-mon and the 6-mon. And Jacob now Ishanten.
Blaine gets Tenpai with this.
Each.
You have to Ricci get a Yaku. Ricci Dora. Still one in the wall. Oh. Yeah.
The rest pretty solidly in everyone else's hands.
Jacob
Edwin pushing the 16.
Pay, but Furry 10 on the 9, so
Boom.
that's 7-8. Well, it gets the pawn, but now, yeah, you threw your pair out. I guess if you pair up the 4 or 5, so then you're in Furry 10, which is a bit unfortunate.
Edwin could take a weight upgrade here if he's willing to discard the 6-mon. Ooh, discards the 2-mon, which is... So now Champon waiting on the 5-mon and 6-mon. Could have taken a Ryanman on a 6-mon discard, but that works as well.
Yeah, just one of those 6-mon left in the wall. It's Dora Suji, though. I feel like it's not likely to come out.
Sumo.
Oh, it gets the last 3-mon for Blaine. Ricci,
Oh.
Sumo, Dora.
That's incredible. Just pulling the last one like we've seen done so many times today. So that is going to drop Jacob below 30k and put Blaine into second above 30k. And Edwin's first, now insufficient. Edwin's going to need more points. Plus, oh, well, hold on. Anya's at negative 3.4. So Edwin needs exactly 25 to tie. And is currently at 25.5. So Edwin's actually okay, but whew, it's tight. The Dora
Yeah.
here is the 5-peen. Cruz with a pretty nice hand to start. Rian Khan in So, and then the Rianmin and a Kanchan and Manzu. So an okay two Shanten here.
Although, yeah, if Edwin just takes points off of Blaine, then wouldn't necessarily need that first place, but
Would have to take a lot of points off of Blaine. I mean, you're going to get 10 from the placement difference, as
or
long as you're both over 30K. 20 from the placement difference if you're not both over 30K. So, you know, if Edwin's the only person above 30K, he's pretty safe in most situations mathematically. But with Blaine over 30K, it's going to be really, really tough to have enough points to bridge that gap.
the unfortunate Dora Yeet from the dealer and gets another one immediately.
But can still incorporate it.
Yeah.
Another pair is discarding the 1-peens now, making a could end up Tanyao here. Although that's still a little bit off.
Yeah. And the possibility of 9-mon draw for E10.
Edwin on the right has a couple of Ankos.
Each.
Although the Anko of 3-peen are connected to a floating 4-peen. So, across the way, Blaine waiting. Champon 5-peen, 6-peen, both are once cut. And
Yeah.
one 5-peen Dora is left in Cruz's hand. So, only one 6-peen left in the wall.
And if you draw it, you get Sananko.
So that would be Richi Dora 2 Sananko Sumo. So that would be a Hanuman. A Mangon on a 5-peen Ron with Richi Dora 3. And a 6-peen Ron would just be a 3-Han hand.
Right. There's a 6.
Alright, so Sananko can no longer happen.
The wrong could still happen, but middle tile, very unlikely to come out.
Especially next to Dora.
Yeah.
Although Cruz, if Cruz draws, say, an 8-peen, now actually could just take the 6-peen weight as well. Doesn't.
Yeah, just probably doesn't want to risk it.
Cruz could still get to.
Yep, Tenpai now. Do you want to throw the 7? Throws it.
Yeah, so it's now waiting on the 3-peen and the 6-peen. That weight is also dead. Everybody is holding them.
Each.
Oh, and it's going to call Ricci now. I mean, this weight doesn't look too bad if you're just looking at the tiles that have been discarded. I mean, there are still 6 left, but with only 2 more draws, yeah, that 9-mon comes out.
Yeah,
but
no Yaku.
yeah, that's Jacob on the left who has that.
Yeah, would have been a Shanpon. The 9-mon is makes it can't get Tanya.
G.
4. Chiefs of 4.
Yep, taking K10.
Yeah, everyone Tenpai.
Alright, so no sticks exchange. 2 Ricci sticks in the middle, so there's 2,300 points in the center. Moving into South 2 repeat 1. The 1-so is the Dora. A fairly nice hand here for Cruz, other than that 8-9 Pinchan in the Manzu. You really like to see that 3, 4, 5, 6 though in the peen.
Yeah, pretty good shapes for Edwin on the right. Lots of Rhineman. Could call the Hatsu. Just wouldn't have value though.
ポン
Goes for the pawn.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, is now Ishanten.
Though there isn't value in the hand, there is extra sticks on the board.
チ
Now Tenpai.
Yeah, Atrazuke on the Green Dragon.
And since his current score would get him above Anya's point total, this is fine. 40K is the bare minimum for Edwin. Across the table, Blaine just needs a 3-so to have that 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku confirmed. Could also actually end up with Junchan with the right draws. Is still 2 Shanten though, no matter the hand.
Yeah, that would be a great hand. Oh, that Green Dragon is Shanpai,
Yeah,
but you might just think it's Tanyo and throw it anyway.
that's true. The South coming out first makes sense. It's been one cut. Once cut. A direct hit on Blaine would be pretty nice. It wouldn't drop him below 30K.
But it would help.
Blaine tossing the 8-so. So Blaine actually keeping the Hatsu Tonki as an option here. And that might end up saving him. The Chun has been cut 3 times, so no need to hold on to that. We have Ishanten for Jacob on the left.
Gets
Oh!
the Sanso, but doesn't have the pair yet. Oh,
No!
so the Green Dragon deals in.
So only 1,300, although that is quite the unfortunate deal in, since Edwin is your direct competitor. But
Yeah, still above 30K, so they would have you in a better third place than Anya.
well, Blaine would actually still be in second as the points lay,
All right.
and Edwin would be in third, but have a better third than Anya.
Although Edwin could get, if he runs anyone but Blaine, he could pull up that second place. But Blaine would still be okay. Sumo, on the other hand, then you could get below that.
Yeah, then things would start to get rough. Edwin here has a pair of the Haku and a pair of the Dora 5-so. So this could be a very quick, expensive hand as dealer, tossing away that 8-9 Mon with its overlap with the 5-6 Mon. Has too many blocks anyway. This makes sense. On the left, Cruz building a Itsu in the pin.
ポン
Edwin getting the Haku. Ishanten now.
Thinking whether to call that. Does not call the 8-mon. Maybe Blaine was thinking about forcing Honitsu there. Decides against it.
Ooh, getting rid of the 1-2-so. What do you think about that?
ポン
I don't like it. I think just for the Chun, like you already have good value. You don't need to like pair up, but it works out. Gets a Ryanman, so 2 Ryanman Ishanten.
Yeah, a slightly better Ishanten here for Edwin. And then Blaine on the right takes that 1-so pawn, is perhaps going for a Chanta or a Junchan.
チ
And this is Tenpai for Edwin, waiting on the 4-mon and the 7-mon.
Plenty of them still left in the wall.
Across the way, Jacob looking very nice for a 7-8-9 Sanshoku and a Junchan to top it off.
He needs to confirm a pair though.
リーチ
This is
789. Is that what is this?
calls
79 sound for
Vici
coup.
waiting
8
on the 8 so.
on their 8
Each.
so, yeah.
つも
Oh, they're just sumo
Oh.
dealer.
Wow. And that was an incredible hand for Cruz on the left, had the Itsu waiting on 4-7. But Edwin just nabs those Ricci sticks, and now Edwin is in a very, very good position. Blaine in a slightly less good position. Underneath that
Yeah.
30K would still be the best third, but now Blaine is the one who's just like holding on to that best third spot by the very tips of his teeth. Edwin here, once again, has a Yakuhai and a Dora pair, but those are the same thing. Those two Easts are Dora. Would you open Atazuke here if, say, the 6-mon came out before you got the East?
Yeah, because it might look like just Tanyo. So someone, although they probably might not want to throw that East Dora, but it might still just come out. It just comes out
Home.
now. I'm generally in the throw Dora early just to like before someone can pair it up, but it's already paired up since the start.
And nothing you can really do about that. If someone just starts with it, they just start with it. Edwin could even go for Toy Toy here, although I really doubt that he would.
But throws could have kept the Ryan men instead of 2 pairs, but I guess it's fine either way. I guess
Could also be
specifically
setting
in
up a
Blaine.
Suji trap on the 2-mon.
Yeah, like, I guess specifically as Blaine, I don't know if you might be want to keeping more of that Dora against your like direct competitor though. It's their seat wind. It's too late now.
Jacob's hand not really coming together across the way. Still no completed shapes getting into the second row here. Cruz looking okay as Ishanten for a nice Tanyao Pinfu hand.
Yeah, I see from like Bigoshi. I guess with the 224, you can still achieve a 3-mon to get into Tenpai, so you're just losing out on the 6-mon. So it's not as bad as I thought it was initially.
Edwin thinking about calling that for just a second. Not very long though. Letting it go by, that 5-so.
Yeah, it wouldn't have really improved the hand. I guess if you agreed for Toy Toy, Tone, or yeah, Toy Toy, Tone, Door 3, but definitely don't need that.
The Hanuman is overkill at this point, especially because, I mean, it's kind of a bad Toy with 4-so and 4-peen in hand.
I think it would be moving you back in Shanten as well.
It'd still be Ishanten with the call.
チー
There we have a cheat. Now we have Tenpai. Which weight do you take? All right, Champon on the 2-mon and the 4-peen. Does have the Suji trap now.
Yeah, those are all stuck in other players' hands though.
And pretty
Each.
well integrated.
And
We
they
have the
could be cheap.
Yep, we have the chase. This one I feel very comfortable calling a chase.
Could
Since
switch
you can
the
see that the
weight.
dealer has a Mongon. 3-pin, 6-pin weight for Cruz.
Does not switch their weight. And it would have brought up the double Ron possibility.
And as it turns out, would have kept Edwin a little bit safer. As it is, there's one 6-peen left in the wall. Oh, but the 3-peen's going to
Oh.
deal in from Jacob. So Ricci Pinfu. One
And
Ura.
or if he switched the weight, that would have been double Ron and absolutely massive. But I guess since Jacob's just a sub here, the score doesn't really matter that much for him. But Edwin would be pleased to have those extra points for sure.
And that helps Cruz out a little bit as well, just getting a few more points. This is still a very safe 4th for Cruz. Blaine here with a pretty okay hand. The Pinzu all right. You got the Ryamen 2-3 so. You have 5 blocks. But the blocks aren't fantastic. It is 2 Shanten. Jacob opening for the 1-2-3 Sanshoku. 5-mon is Dora, and there's 2 of those in Cruz's hand across the way. Edwin calling the tune, wanting to end this in all last.
Yeah, but still, those shapes need a ton of work.
Yeah, those that hand is just an absolute train wreck. Let's see, the 3-peen, the only winning tile here for Jacob on the right, but is Tempai already very early.
Yeah, and with the 1-2-3 call, you might be suspecting Sanshoku already. Otherwise, what's the Yaku? You might even see intentional dealing, perhaps.
Ooh, right now maybe? The Haku and the Hatu probably come out first. The Haku's a safe tile, so might hold on to that longer than the 3-peen.
It's a good tile to like upgrade with though. What comes out of the 3-pin? Just the Sanshoku Dojin.
And that's a pretty okay result for everybody. Edwin with the plus 40.8.
Yeah.
And Cruz with a minus 26.7. That's still... Yeah, Cruz is still going to be in first here. And then Edwin. And then Blaine with a minus 0.8 ends up at negative 1.2. So all 3 of them will be moving on. Jacob, of course, is a sit-in, so not affected by these results. But congratulations to Cruz, Edwin, and Blaine, all of whom will move on to B2 for next season, as alongside Austin and Patrick from the other B2, B3 playoff table. That was incredibly tight for Blaine.
Yeah.
As Yoshi pointed out in the chat, a deal in from Blaine would have been fine, but whew,
yeah,
would have been sweating.
At highest 3rd place. Insanely
highest 3rd place there, separated by by 2.2 points. I mean, that is incredibly down to the wire, which we've seen several times in this 6th session. And with that, all of the divisions are finished other than B1. And that B1 match is significant to the standings because there are a couple people in that match who are in danger of demotion. Let's see, that's Pio, Sarah, Ryan J, and what not Sylvie. One of the subs is the other person there. So, and all 3 of them go from negative 119.6, which is out of demotion, down to negative 127.3 for Pio, which is in demotion range. So that is going to be another incredibly tense game. That is happening tomorrow. But with today, all of the other divisions have been decided, so we can actually see what's going on in all of them other than the hiatuses. Congratulations once again to Cruz, Edwin, and Blaine from this table for all making it into B2. Congratulations to Huang for the league championship with an absolutely decisive victory. I mean, one of the narratives in A1 all season has just been that it's been so very tight and nobody really broke away like they did in any of the other divisions. But, well, Huang turned that right on its head in this final series. Any closing thoughts from you, Dustin?
I'll just bring back to those other A1 games. Congrats to Oliver and Bishan for avoiding demotion as well. It isn't my expense, but it's fine. What ended up being the cutoff there? It's like such. We've been saying like pretty much all season, such a tight cutoff for just Korak at the staying in spot at plus 0.9. Me with the highest demotion at minus 8.7.
I mean, the fact that everyone negative demoted is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, 11 with a sub, 11 positive, 4 negative. Definitely a weird distribution of points.
Yeah, but that is just how it shook out this season in A1. It'll be interesting to see if the same is true next season. You do typically expect 0 to be right in the middle, and it wasn't this time. But with that is all of the Mahjong that we have for you tonight. We hope that you enjoyed the games. Tomorrow, the spring season will conclude with the final matchup in B1 to see who ends up demoting there. So good luck to all of the players tomorrow. Thank you for joining me tonight, Dustin. I was glad that we got to commentate together. Thank you, Nathaniel, for being our broadcast director, making all this happening, making all of this happen, doing the hard work behind the scenes. Thank you, everybody who watched. If you enjoyed what you saw and you would like to, sign up, you still can. You can, not for summer. You can sign up for fall. So it'll be about 3 months before that gets underway. But hey, why not? You can go
Yeah.
ahead and do it. And those early fall signups might be needed as subs according to what happens with our players in the season. And those people who get on the list first signing up for fall will be the first ones contacted for subs. So that is just more incentive to sign up. To do that, go to our homepage at americanrishi.org, which we will post in the chat briefly here. Be sure to follow us on Twitter so that you know when we are going live with broadcasts, when those are happening, and so that you get informed of especially notable results. That is at American Ricci on Twitter. And also, we have a YouTube channel. Be sure to follow our YouTube, follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel. There is an absolutely vast compendium of Mahjong commentary there, all of the games that we have covered, including the 80 million games we covered in the past 2 weeks. The broadcast teams have been working very hard to get as many of these playoff games to you as possible. I think we missed less than 10. So thanks to everybody on the volunteer squad who made all of that happen. And I hope everyone, especially Edwin, gets a nice break with our week off. And I hope everyone has a good night. Joined by Dustin, I am Tucker, signing off for the American Ricci Mahjong League. Have a wonderful night, everybody.